Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you'll never miss a new episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the I Love Dentistry Office Hours with Gary Takas. Gary has graciously agreed, right when we started the group, to do this on a weekly basis. And pretty much, except for a few weeks, we have pretty much made every single week. So, Gary, thank you for that. And welcome back. How are you doing today?
I love doing these I Love Dentistry Office Hours. We have an amazing community. We're over 8,000 now, Naren, members of the I Love Dentistry Facebook group, and it's an honor to share this information with our members.
Absolutely, and it continues to grow. I think just in the last week or so, we are now up to 8,500. So it's amazing to see the support from all over the globe, pretty much.
Well, special thanks to our members for sharing it with your colleagues. And please know we'll always make room for friends of yours. So invite them to join us at I Love Dentistry.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gary. And thank you, everyone, for supporting us. Today's topic is a great topic, Gary. It's a topic, we have a series going, myth busting. And so today is the second, part of that series. And today we're going to talk about this myth that I must be a PPO provider. That if you're not a PPO provider, you can't be a successful or an effective dentist.
Yeah, sadly, that's a myth that needs to be busted because there are far too many dentists that have that mindset that the only way they can survive as a dentist is to be a PPO provider. And it's simply not accurate. It's one of those urban myths that needs to be put to bed. But sadly, Naren, the vast majority of dentists in the United States are PPO providers.
Yes.
And I think it shows just the extreme influence that insurance companies have on dentists. Think about this for a minute. If we step way back and look at this, who needs who, Naren? Does the dental insurance company need the dentist, or does the dentist need the dental insurance company? At a very fundamental level, the dental insurance company needs the dentist, because if they don't have any dentist members, they have no policy to sell. So in other words, imagine if you're Delta Dental and there are no dentists in the area that accept Delta Dental. They have no policy to sell. They've got nothing. They're out of business.
Yeah, it's like 1-800-Flowers. I mean, they don't exist if there's no florist near your house.
They're out of business.
Yeah.
And yet they have manipulated, and there's nothing, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The dental insurance companies have manipulated dentists to make dentists believe that the dentist needs the insurance company. Think about this, Naren. I was thinking about this in prep for this office hours. Imagine this. I'm going to paint a scenario. Naren, imagine you're a dentist here in the United States, and a solicitor shows up at your office doorstep and says, look, I can help you have more new patients. And I'm going to bring more new patients for your practice. And all you have to do is pay me 44% of everything they have done in your office. That's all you have to do. I'll provide you the patient, and you give me 44% of every dollar that you collect from the patient. Would any dentist in their right mind sign up for that?
Zero. I mean,
None.
Think about it. 44% of everything you do, every penny you make, I need to give it to you.
Dentists think that their biggest line item expense is wages, is staff wages. And that's 28%. The goal is to have that be at, collectively for your team members to be at 28% or less. And that would be, all in. That would include every related expense. So not only their wages, but their payroll taxes and FICA and FUTA, unemployment insurance, matching 401k, any benefits we provide to the team. But that 28% pales compared to the 44% they're paying the dental insurance company.
You're absolutely right. And that 28% is based on what they collect. This 44% is what they produce. So it's a much
Right.
bigger number. So it's
It's
like,
a much bigger number.
yeah. So let's say if you're producing 2 million, you are paying $880,000 every year in exchange for that $2 million worth of dentistry, and you only get to see 1.1 million of that 2 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Overhead's been going up radically in the last 3 decades. Dental practice overhead, and there's a variety of reasons for it. One would be, the ever advancing technology. Think about what technology was 3 decades ago in dentistry. I mean, it was pretty fundamental, pretty basic.
Yes.
And today we have all kinds of cool technology like lasers, and we have 3D imaging, and we have CAD CAM dentistry where we can provide the restoration in one visit, and any number of other exciting advances in technology. So, ever increasing technology is added to the overhead. But the single biggest reason why dental practice overhead has gone up is that dentists who participate with PPO plans have lost the ability to adjust their fees when expenses go up in their practice. They've lost the ability because who controls the fees? The dental insurance company controls the
Right.
fees. And they don't give one iota about your financial health of your practice. They don't give one iota. And I think one of the reasons why the myth perpetuates, Naren, is simply because so many dentists believe that they don't have a choice. And I want to be a beacon of light to show that, in fact, you do have a choice. We have 4 interviews on our podcasts, our Thriving Dentist Show, and also Less Insurance Dependence podcast, that we've brought dentists who have successfully started a fee-for-service practice from scratch in very unlikely areas. 3 of those. One of them in Orange County, California. Now, Naren, remember when we were kids and there was a little game that you could play where you had to pick what was in common with these 3 different pictures?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
what do they have in common? So, Naren, I'm going to name 3 cities and you tell me what they have in common. Okay. So, Orange County, California, San Francisco, the city of San Francisco, California, and Nashville, Tennessee. Relative to the dental profession, what do those 3 cities have in common relative to dentistry?
Relative to dentistry, is it a dental school?
Nope. Nope. Are
You
they
mean
competitive? Are they competitive? Are they not competitive?
Yeah, they're very competitive in terms of how many dentists are there, and also I think many of them are corporate towns, isn't it? I know, like San Francisco is a huge corporate town.
Definitely San Francisco. I would say Nashville is moving that way. Orange County, not so much.
Yeah,
But they're very competitive because, frankly, they're quality places to live.
yeah,
People like living there, and they're places where people choose to live, as opposed to rural South Dakota.
yes.
So we have 3 examples of dentists that have successfully started a fee-for-service practice from scratch in those 3 cities, in those 3 areas: Orange County, California, San Francisco, and Nashville. And they're
And I think in
proving.
your work, you have a client in every state, right? I mean, who has successfully reduced
Yeah.
insurance dependence.
In my coaching work, we've helped many dentists around the country to successfully reduce insurance dependence. And one of the really cool things about that is that we've been successful in every location format that exists. By location format, let me describe what I mean. Urban practice, suburban practice location, big town, medium-sized town, small town, remote, rural, and company town. Company town's kind of important because in company towns, a majority of the employees work for one of the major companies in the town. Here's some examples of company towns, Naren. Houston, Texas. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Cincinnati, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio.
Seattle.
Chicago, Seattle. Seattle is maybe the most profound example of a company town because while in fact people that live in Seattle could work for any number of different employers, the employment landscape is dominated by 4 employers: Boeing Aircraft, Microsoft, Amazon, and Starbucks. and they all provide their employees with PPO plans. And yet we've been successful with dentists in Seattle that have successfully gone out of network. And here's the tipping point that everybody watching this video needs to get their arms around. Here's a tipping point. It happened in 2016. The dental insurance companies do not want you to know about this. They will hide this information and obscure it any way they can. But in 2016, we reached a tipping point. And this is very important. And the tipping point was at a certain date in 2016, more adult Americans in the US did not have dental insurance than those that did. And every year since, the number of people that do have insurance is going down. The number of people that don't have insurance is going up. And Naren, think about the landscape in a post-COVID-19 world. You know, many companies are still trying to navigate the effects of COVID-19. And many employers are finding ways to make up the money they lost during all of the effects of COVID-19. And it's not unusual for many companies to be dropping dental insurance benefits to their employees because, frankly, they're not a very good deal. It's not a very good investment for the employer. And they're dropping it. And so there's more people not having dental insurance than do. So let's go find them. So the universe of people is larger that don't have insurance than do. Let's go find them. They're out there. They're everywhere. Let's go find them. Here's another sobering detail relative to COVID-19. Doctors, if you think that your contracted fees are low now, you better be sitting down when I'm about to deliver this message. They are about to get dropped even further.
Right.
Your fees are going to be cut further. Here's why. Companies are going to their PPO plans. They're going to Delta. They're going to MetLife. They're going to Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're going to Travelers. They're going to United Concordia. And they're saying, okay, we want to continue to be a customer of yours, but we want to pay a lower premium. We have to pay a lower premium because of the effects of COVID-19 and the effects on our balance sheet. We got to pay you less. And guess what? The insurance company is happy to do that. Oh, that's no problem. We can help you with that. So how do they continue to provide dental insurance with a lower premium by the employer? They cut the fees paid to the dentist. They cut the fees paid to the dentist. So if you think your fees are already low now, they're about to go even lower. It's a race to the bottom. You know, it's interesting. When we were going out of network in my own practice, Naren, Paul, we were a solo dentist at the time, and Paul he was very involved and is still involved in the AGD, the Academy of General Dentistry. And he would go to his AGD study club meetings and he'd share, information. Yeah, here's something we're doing in our practice. And when he told his colleagues in the AGD study club that he was considering dropping PPO plans, what do you think most of his colleagues said?
You must be nuts. You must be crazy.
And Paul was young. You silly young dentist. Don't you know you can't do that? Well, little did they know that Paul has the same temperament that I have when it comes to being challenged. And that says the best way to get me to do something is tell me I can't do it. That's the best way. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, yeah. Take a look. Watch.
Watch me.
Watch me. Really, it kind of reminds me, most of our viewers will know that I enjoy long distance running and I enjoy track and field. And it's like when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile in 1954. Prior to 1954 and Roger Bannister eclipsing the 4-minute barrier in the mile, it was thought that it couldn't be done. There were sports physiologists that said, the lung capacity isn't such that you can carry enough oxygen to run that fast for a mile. And he did it. And he proved him wrong. And I don't think it's a coincidence that within 2 months, 3 other runners broke the 4-minute barrier because guess what? They realized it can be done. So Naren, I'd like to be a beacon of light to share that it can be done. We have clients all over the country that have successfully done this in every location environment against all the odds and have absolutely done this. And it is a path, Naren, to rediscovering joy in your practice. It's a pathway, not only financially. I mean, financially, quit giving. If you want to become more profitable, quit giving away 44% of it. I mean, that makes perfect sense, right?
Gary,
But let's look at it on a deeper level. Let's look
Gary,
at it
just
on.
one point I want to kind of highlight, if I may. Um, we tend to do what people around us do, right? And unfortunately, the dental insurance companies have been, like you said, even though they need you more than you need them, they have been creating this myth: without them, you are dead, right? And they've done an amazing job. They have billions of dollars, and I bet they hire the best minds in the planet to influence you. Now, you and I are doing something different. We created something called Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy because we wanted to show, hey, there's not one, two, three, there's like hundreds of people who are on this journey and hopefully thousands. Can you talk more about that, Gary?
There's a grassroots movement growing by the day of dentists that have just had it, and they are preparing to successfully go out of network. So we created the very first digital dental association. It's called RIDA, RIDA. RIDA is both a play on words as well as an acronym. The play on words is we want to help you get rid of insurance. Okay, if we have any English teachers on this video, we know we're not speaking proper grammar when we say RIDA. We get it. But we do. We want to help you get rid of insurance, but it's also an acronym. It stands for Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy. And it is a growing academy association of dentists and dental professionals that are on the journey to successfully reduce insurance dependence. And to our community, let me extend an invitation and come join us, www.rid.academy. www.rid.academy. Come join us. We're gifting your membership. There is no membership fee. And we encourage you to come join us and be surrounded by like-minded individuals that are on the same path. One of the really cool things about the internet these days, Naren, is that the internet allows you to, whatever your hobbies or interests are, you can find other people that are kind of in your same camp, regardless of what it is. Would you agree? You can find someone that other people that are interested in the same things that you're interested in. And I think that's one of the really cool things of the internet is that it allows us to connect with like-minded individuals.
Two other bonus tips I want to share, and it comes from you, and hopefully we can wind it down. One is, Gary, you and I listen to calls, right? And before we started doing that closely, I assumed,
When you say calls, let's clarify. We listen to, for our clients, for our mutual clients, we listen to incoming phone calls from potential new patients.
Yes, incoming phone calls from potential new patients. It tells them it's being recorded. It's done in compliance with HIPAA and so forth.
Legally, ethically.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when we do, one thing that I noticed, I'm sure you knew this 20 years ago, that patients don't care that you are on the PPO plan. Only thing they ask is, hey, I got this free thing, I have a free, insurance card. Can I use my free benefit in your office?
I think of it like, I got this coupon.
Yeah.
Can I use this coupon in your practice?
That's it.
And that's kind of an interesting way to think of it because that's what it is. I got this thing.
Because I didn't pay for it. It's somebody gave it to me, so it's just something that I have sitting somewhere.
Yeah, the vast majority of people with dental insurance didn't pay for those benefits. There's rare exceptions. If you own your own business, you pay for it. But if you're an employee, you didn't pay for that.
Yes.
It just got handed to you. It's like, here's a free pencil.
Yeah. Or like I know my kids get these free gift cards and they never use it. It sits in the shelf somewhere.
Yeah, it's about what it's worth, the amount that they paid for it, which was nothing.
Nothing.
But what they want to know is, can I use it in your practice? And one of the things that allows us to be successful with this, and let me define success, Naren. One of the ways we measure success is what percent of our in-network patients do we keep in the practice when we go out of network? That's a very specific metric you can use. And it's a telltale metric. And we have examples all over the country where that number we keep between 85 and 90% of your in-network patients when you do everything right. 85 to 90%. Now, let me be clear. You are going to lose some patients. You're going to lose some. We've done this many times now, and we do not have an example of an office that didn't lose some patients. You're going to lose some patients, but it becomes kind of like self-selection. If if the only reason they come to you is because you take their insurance, in other words, they don't care that you invested in CAD CAM, they don't care that you've got a CBCT, they don't care that you have the most amazing team on the planet, they don't care that you will slow down and spend time with them, they don't care that you stand behind your work. If the only reason they come is you take my insurance, they will leave.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about it is a common theme that I've heard from in when we do post exit analysis, when we've exited these plans and we review it with our clients, a common theme is, Gary, all the patients that left were my PITA patients, PITA. We'll keep this G rated. And I won't say what that acronym, but I believe everyone watching this knows what PITA, the first three initials are pain in the. I'll let you fill out the last one. We'll keep it G rated. Every dentist has said, oh my gosh, this was like a filter to get rid of the people that were a pain in my practice. Recently, one of our clients, she was looking at the list of people that she lost, and she said, this one, and she's pointing to a name, and I won't use the name with deference to confidentiality, but she said, this guy. Do you know that 3 times in the last 2 years, I have come in after hours and provided emergency care for this patient? All 3 times it was the same thing. It was an old failing amalgam that she told him was failing, and he didn't do anything about it because it didn't hurt. And of course, Murphy's Law, when he's coming in for this emergency treatment, you think it's 2 p.m, Darren? No,
No.
it's late in the evening. One time she said it was midnight on a Saturday night, and yet she came in to take care of this patient. And she said, and his response when she went on network was to do a burnout out of the parking lot and go to another dentist. I mean, good riddance.
Good riddance.
Good riddance.
Yeah, if that's the only reason, they just want to use you and they just don't care about anything you do, then what's the point having them as a patient?
There's a phrase, a sentence that I believe for most dentists is like the sound of nails on a chalkboard. You know, that's the different people.
I can visualize it.
I happen to be one of those people that that would be my extreme torture, is nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah,
but
me too.
for many dentists, the phrase that triggers that kind of response is when the doctor presents dentistry to the patient, and the only question the patient has is, doctor, is that covered by my insurance? And there's even a tone to the question, like, because if it isn't, I'm not remotely interested.
Yes.
You know, and imagine, doctor, imagine that as you go out of network, your practice becomes filled with patients who actually appreciate what you do for them, who appreciate your recommendations, who are actually asking you proactively, doctor, I want to keep my own natural teeth all my life. Can you share with me some things that I can do that I can achieve that goal? I want to be as healthy as I possibly can, and I've chosen you and your team because I have trust and confidence in you. And imagine the difference, and just the difference in your spirit and the way you feel about your work. You know, our goal in my coaching work is to help clients develop a practice that provides personal, professional, and financial satisfaction. And I will say without hesitation that one of the best ways to do that is to successfully go out of network. So, Naren, I hope we've blown up this myth that I must be a PPO provider, because you do not. We have examples all over the country in unlikely places that are successfully doing this. And I would invite any of our listeners to jump on board and help dispel that myth.
Thank you so much, Gary. I'm also going to add a link to the Thriving Dentist Show, the Less Insurance Dependent Show, and your coaching page in case somebody wants to, learn more about this. So thank you so much, Gary. I 100% agree. I have been on both sides, and I know the practices that are not insurance dependent, they have a totally different life. Forget about the money and the profits. It just changes the way they live. It changes the way they work with their teams. It's a totally different. It's almost like living in, I don't know, one of those really poor nations, where you're living on $1 a day versus living in the States. I mean, I've seen both sides, so I understand, same human being, just totally different life, unfortunately. But
doctors deserve, and your team deserves, to have a thriving practice. You deserve that. And this is one of the quickest pathways to do that, for sure. Well, hey, Naren, thank you. Thanks for choosing this topic. Thanks for inviting me on the I Love Dentistry Office Hours. Thanks for working together with me to co-found RIDA, Reducing Insurance Dependence Academy, www.rid.academy. Come join us.